Okay, everyone. Thanks for checking into this lecture. Well, it's more of a walkthrough. So I want to go ahead and talk through the Workpaper 2 series and then clarify a couple other things about your data because I've gotten some questions and I want to make sure I get them answered. Um, oh, no, I don't want to convert. Okay, so one of the first questions, and I thought that the state auditor's office had resolved this, but apparently they haven't. Um, there's supposed to be a column, a field somewhere that says what type of entity uh, we have, like what type of entity the each line of the records are. Now I'm in the July file. I've scrolled all the way to the right hand side, so there's not really anything identifying here other than just the account numbers. Um, but I have another file from the state auditor's office that allows us to match the which one of these entities like goes with which, like what type of entity. So I'm going to flip over. The file is called cheat sheet for column BQ. Very, very fancy. And as you can see here, we've got numbers and we've got the type of organization it is. There's only 22 of them. Yeah, it's not very many. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip back over to the main sheet. And again, you would need to do this with your data since it's not in there. I don't want to have to go through and like do it and resend them to everybody and clog up everybody's email. So I'm going to add a sheet and then I'm going to come back over, copy all of it, come back and paste it. All right. So first and foremost, got in there, and then I'm going to close this version just so that I don't accidentally click on the wrong thing. And I'm going to call this column BQ cheat sheet. All right. And you don't have to do that, but all right. So what I'm going to do right here, this is column BQ. Excuse me. So light it yellow. This field here apparently coincides with the type of entity that you have over here. So, like this very first one, 25012, come over here, 25012, that is going to be a municipality. Okay, I clicked it. So, it's going to be a municipality. So, here is my recommendation. You could do it wherever. Um, but I would come to the main report. I would come way back over here where you actually have useful data. And okay, so you can uh, see a little bit of the data there. That's honestly, it's not a big deal. Um, and I would go somewhere here in the beginning just to make things easy. Maybe I'm just going to stick it right here. I'm going to insert column, call this column entity type. Now I'm going to use a VLOOKUP. There's other ways that you could do it. I just think the VLOOKUP is the easiest. But if you come over here, the, the value that you need are these. Like these are the numbers we're going to look up. So we actually need to swap positions. So if you're familiar with a VLOOKUP, you need the value that you're looking for to be on the left. That's just how it works. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight those. I'm going to Control X to cut them, and I'm going to Control V to paste them. And then once again, because I don't like the way that looks, I am going to try and delete it. Note, I don't have my regular keyboard, so let's just do this. It's an OCD thing. I don't like to have it like that. Anyway, all right, so I just switched places. Now, I'm going to come back up to the main report. I'm going to go to this first cell and I'm going to do equals VLOOKUP. Now we know it's in cell BV or column BV. However, we inserted a row, so it's actually uh, the column after that, which W, so it should be BW. So we're going to look up BW and we're in row 2. And we're going to go, the table array is going to be, start with the B, highlight the whole table. Laptop is really finicky at comma. All right, so that is going to be our value array. Column index, we want to report column number 2, which was the name. Just do a number 2. And then I want to do false because I want it to be an exact match. And of course it didn't work. Let's go see. Oh, QR. What am I? I thought, I don't know what I was doing. QR. Hopefully you already caught that at home. VR2, 2502. That because this is a number or it's text instead of a number, which we can fix. I didn't realize. You see how it's got the green dots and it's formatted to the left. That means it's a text, or that means it's in there as text format, not as a number. So, but like I said, we can fix that pretty easily. And honestly, the easiest way to convert these over to be numbers is to use, unfortunately, another formula. So here's what I'm going to do because I've already got that. I'm going to just insert it right beside of it. All right. And I'm going to highlight this one yellow too, just so that we know. And I'm going to, whatever, field. So I'm going to, you can use a value formula. Now, if you go down, you can highlight them all. You can click this, you can click convert to number. But there's 20, 30,000 rows. And the time it would take it to convert all those would take forever. So I'm going to do equals value and just pick that cell. And it should now be a number like that. And I put the comma. It doesn't actually need a comma in it. I was just seeing, making sure it was a number because it wouldn't do that otherwise. And so I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, copy and paste that value formula. Take a second. That's all I needed was a second. Okay. Now, it changed. See, it changed our formula because we inserted columns. So we need to change it back to BR because that's the one that has the, oh, what, R2. Okay. And see, now it's returning municipalities, which is what it should be. We already looked at that. We knew it should be municipalities. So I am going to use the F4 button to freeze that table on the next page. And we don't really need to freeze anything else, but I'm going to go ahead and do it for just the BR just to be safe. But you don't actually need to because we're only copying and pasting into one column. So I'm then going to copy that all the way to the bottom. See, we've got 32,000 lines almost. Paste it. Should take it a minute. Now, here's what I'm going to do next. And this is, it will make your file run faster. See, right now, you have 31,546 formulas that you don't need to recalculate constantly. They're not going to change. So what I always do whenever I have something like this is, you can leave the first one if you want to see the formula. I'm not going to. In this case, I'm going to Control Shift and press the down arrow to highlight everything in that column. I'm going to do Control C to copy it, and then I'm going to go up to paste. And under this paste values, I'm just going to click the first one, which is paste values. And now all of these things are actual values instead of uh, the numbers, and then instead of formulas. So now you can actually, whenever you're doing some of your analysis, you can sort it by like entity type and know that you have, municipality, school board authority, whatever, uh, public utility board, and any of those things, you can see exactly what they are. So that was step one. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to close this for my cell, or I'm not going to save it because I don't want. This is the original data, so I'm going to close that. Don't save. No, I don't want to keep it available. All right. So that part's done. Uh, that you can add into to whatever you're doing. If you've already done a bunch of other work and haven't included it, that's fine. I just want you to have it going forward. Now, Workpaper, the Workpaper 2 series is going to consist of a lot of brainstorming and quite a bit of group interaction. And that's really what I want to make sure you guys are doing, that you're talking to your group members, whether it's, email back and forth or a meeting over Zoom or Teams or in Collaborate somewhere. Uh, or, you know, honestly, a lot of you are around town. You could get together in person if you wanted to. Any of those methods would work as long as you guys are communicating. I don't want anyone doing all the work. All right. So let's look down here. We already talked about Work Paper Series 1. Let's look at these two Work Paper 2 um, that I've highlighted blue. All right. So in this, what we are going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to brainstorm and try to find frauds that we know have existed because there are newspaper articles, well, website like news articles, um, or something in a journal or something written up somewhere that talks about a known fraud that has occurred. Um, there are some examples here at the beginning. These are examples that have been carried forward, and I know at least a couple of them, the links um, don't work anymore, like the San Diego, the San Diego Union Tribune. Uh, I don't think those links work anymore. But what we're doing is I want you to go out and use Google or whatever search engine you like to use, and simply search for give me examples of purchasing card fraud. You can do municipal purchasing card fraud, state purchasing card fraud, just purchasing card fraud in general. Um, just to you want to have different ideas for the types of fraud that could potentially occur. And having seen someone actually document, like, hey, this is how we did this, that actually helps a ton. So, couple examples here. The first one the game gave ordering items which are never shipped. Third party sellers may be fake or selling stolen items. And then there was an article from Forbes. Purchases of alcohol, general policies regarding purchases of alcohol with state funds. That was in the San Diego Union Tribune. And purchase of fuel for personal use. Again, purchasing it separately at the same time as legitimate fueling. And that we've actually seen that kind of stuff happen with um, purchasing cards where someone they take their vehicle home and they need to go get gas. And so they say, come on, bring the truck. And, their spouse follows behind them uh, until they get to the gas station. And then basically they run their purchasing cart twice. Um, the first time fills their vehicle up, second time fills their spouse's vehicle up. Now, there are controls that the credit card companies themselves can put on it and the companies can select. For instance, whenever I worked at Greylock, we actually had purchasing cards because we had a fleet of vehicles and those drivers would have to buy gasoline. And so we actually had it locked that they could only make one purchase at a gasoline station every so often, like once an hour or something. So it didn't actually work to it didn't actually work to try and run it twice because it just wouldn't go through. So there are some options out there, but a lot of times those things aren't being implemented unless someone's specifically thinking about it. So go to Google, type something in. Let's do, I'm not going to click on any websites, but if I just go to Google and I say, give me examples of employees using purchasing cards fraudulently, um, you're going to get lots of examples. $200,000 employee credit card fraud. I don't know that I trust Reddit that much, but 9 outrageous cases, fraud investigating procurement card abuse. All of these. I mean, look at they just keep going and going and going because it happens a lot. Okay, so you'll find lots of examples. And so, what I want you to do, I want you to write down, what kind of fraud, like what were they doing, give a brief explanation, like you see how long these explanations are. They're less than a sentence, and then last, copy the web page where you got it. Just that way, I know that you actually got it from somewhere. So that's it for 2-1. It's pretty straightforward. Then for Workpaper 2.2.2, this is where I want you guys to brainstorm the kinds of fraud that you might encounter within the West Virginia State Auditor's Office purchasing card data sets. And I want you to think specifically about our purchasing card regulations. And you can see that there's a link here that if you go to it, should open it up. Okay, so purchasing card programs, state of West Virginia, they have these bright orange cards, and they actually do that deliberately. This is sort of an interesting twist. They make these cards bright orange because they've had problems in the past where people have used them incorrectly and said, well, it looks like all my other credit cards, and I just pulled it out by accident. Well, their logic is that you're probably not going to pull this one out by accident. Like they tried to make it look distinguishable enough that they're not going to pull it out and use it for anything else. But they're here in the background. You have different stuff related to it, and then down here you have the state auditor's purchasing card policies and procedures manual revised in August 24. And if you download that PDF, yes, the document itself is, not terribly long, but there's no need for you to read all of it. But you can come here. Oh, it keeps going. So 26 pages. You can scroll down and you can find, uh, the things that where it specifically outlines the things you can't do. Probably should have looked at the table of contents first. Let's see. P card issuance. Okay. Card activation, instructions for use, general instructions, transaction limit, business related travel. So that could be something related to travel, usage restrictions. Here it gives a few things may not be used to obtain cash, credit cards, or cash advances. P card may be used to purchase gift cards where it's applicable. So, there's a difference in um, a school board authority getting a gift card because they're doing some kind of giveaway, and a PSD or something that has two employees. Like there's a difference of where that may or may not be acceptable, and so you have some judgment there that you have to make, and you should be relatively specific. If you just say, well, they should buy no gift cards, then every group out there that might buy gift cards, you're suddenly excluding, and maybe you shouldn't, should or shouldn't, depending on the circumstances. Um, so anyway, go through, look at some of those, and then on your work paper, basically, I want you to document what do you think it had. You've read a bunch of examples and given me references. Now I want you've looked at the paper to see what kind of frauds do they regularly see, um, and that's a recent really recent file, so it should be pretty up to date for the most part. So anyway, um, go do that, brainstorm some ideas of some frauds that might be happening, fill these out, and then you're done. That's it. We are done with Work Paper Series 2. I'm going to give you guys a couple, 3 extra days to get it done. Just, the last week has been really hectic for me and for you guys also because I haven't been as connected as I usually am. I try to be on a lot and answer questions quickly, and I just haven't been able to. I am sorry for that, but we're back. We're at it. I know everyone's on vacation today, but uh, it's out there. So I'm going to get this posted. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I will be talking to you guys later. Thanks.